عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال, Abu Hurairah رضي الله عنه said, جاء رجل إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال, a man came to the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم and said, يا رسول الله, O Messenger of Allah, فقال هلكت يا رسول الله. He said, I have been destroyed, O Messenger of Allah. قال, so the Prophet ﷺ said to him, وما أهلكك? What has destroyed you? قال, وقعت على امرأتي في رمضان. He said, I had intercourse with my wife during Ramadan. فقال, هل تجد ما تعتق به رقبة? So the Prophet said to him, are you able to free a slave? قال لا. He said no. قال فهل تستطيع أن تصوم شهرين متتابعين? Are you able to fast 2 months in a row? قال لا. قال فهل تجد ما تطعم 60 مسكينا? Are you able to feed 60 poor people? قال لا. He said no. ثم جلس, and then he just sat down. فأتي النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بعرق فيه تمر. Then afterwards, a short while later, somebody came with some dates to the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم in a bowl. فقال, so the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said, تصدق بهذا. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said to the man, in that case, go and give these dates in charity. فقال أعلى أفقر منا. He said, is there anybody poorer than us? فما بين لابتيها أهل بيت أحوج إليه منا. He said, nobody in Medina is poorer and more in need of the dates than my own family. فضحك النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم حتى بدت أنيابه. So the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم laughed until his teeth became apparent when he was laughing, the front teeth. ثم قال اذهب فأطعمه أهلك. So the Prophet ﷺ said, take the dates and go feed your own family. This hadith is now talking about the ruling regarding somebody who has intercourse during Ramadan in the daytime. In the night time it is permissible after sunset, after you open the fast. After you have opened the fast, then it is not an issue. But during the day, whilst you are fasting, it is haram, impermissible to have intercourse. So in this narration, a man ended up doing that. Intercourse during the day when fasting. So he came to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, I'm destroyed, I'm ruined. The Prophet ﷺ said, what has occurred? What has destroyed you, ruined you? He said, I had intercourse with my wife during the day. So then the Prophet ﷺ told him what he needs to do to make up for that. The expiation. And he told him 3 things in a particular specific order. The first was, can you free a slave? He said, no. Then the second was, can you fast 2 months consecutively? He said, no. Then the third was, can you feed 60 people? In that order. It is not an option, you can do any order, any one. It is in that order. The first thing you're supposed to do is free a slave. If you can't do that, then you move on to the second possibility of fasting 2 months consecutively. If you can't do that, then you can move on to the third possibility of feeding 60 poor people. This man couldn't do any of those things. So then he just went and sat down. And then afterwards somebody came with a bowl of dates to the Prophet ﷺ. So the Prophet ﷺ said, where's that man who was asking the question? He was still sat down. He came forward. The Prophet ﷺ said to him, go and give these in charity in that case. The man said, basically, who could I give in charity to? My family are the poorest family in Medina. We are more in need of this charity than anybody else. So then the Prophet ﷺ began to laugh and he said, okay, go and feed your own family with this then. So we see that the ruling, the expiation for the one who falls into this issue of intercourse during Ramadan, during the days in fasting, is the three details that have been given: freeing a slave initially, if not possible, then fasting 2 months consecutively, if not possible, then feeding 60 poor people. There are some other issues here. Is that expiation upon the man and also upon his wife to do, or is it just upon the man? Both guilty. They were both by consent had intercourse. So who is the expiation upon? Just the man, or the man and the woman to do hers too? Both of them. They both participated. Just the man. Okay. Some scholars, they say it is both. They've both done that. They both have the ruling upon them then. Others have said no, actually the evidences seem to indicate that the expiation is only upon the man. That the expiation is only upon the man. One of the evidences they use for that is this hadith itself. And they say because in this whole event that took place, the man coming and asking the Prophet ﷺ, etc., at no stage anywhere did the Prophet ﷺ say to the man that you need to go and tell your wife this expiation as well. At no stage anywhere did the Prophet ﷺ ask the man, okay, what about your wife? Can she free a slave? Can she fast 2 months? Can she feed 60 poor people? The question of the wife was never even brought up. Nobody ever mentioned her. The Prophet ﷺ never questioned about her, never mentioned the expiation about her. He only asked the man, what can you do? After the man couldn't do any three, it would have been logical to then say, okay, what about your wife then? Can she do one of those three? Nothing was ever questioned about the wife, indicating that the wife was not relevant in the ruling. Because the scholars, they say, as a principle in usul al-fiqh, لا يجوز تأخير البيان عن وقت الحاجة. It is not permissible to delay explaining something from the point of need. Right now the man has come to the Prophet ﷺ asking about the ruling for intercourse. If the ruling was that the expiation is upon him and upon his wife, then the Prophet ﷺ would have clarified that to him at this point of need when the man has come to find out, would have clarified to him clearly, and your wife also, you need to run through those in that order, it's not an option, etc. Nothing was mentioned regarding the wife or the expiation upon the wife. And so some of the scholars, they say it is not upon the wife. The expiation is only upon the husband. And that is an opinion. Others, they hold the opinion, as we said, that it's upon both of them. So that is regarding the expiation of the one who falls into intercourse during the day of Ramadan. Then after that, عن عائشة. And what if the person fell into intercourse multiple times during the day? Multiple times during a given day. Let's say it happened twice that day. So then would he have to give 2 expiations now? Just the one?
Because the first time they did it, he already broke his fast. Just the one.
Correct. So if it occurs multiple times on the same day, it would only be one expiation. But if it occurred on different days, then for every day there would be an expiation. For every day there would be an expiation.